The G23 becoming the G23 is only one headline in what has turned out to be a total political tamasha in the guise of an internal democratic election to choose the next president of the Congress party. Nobody should make light of this fact, because this is not a joke by any stretch of imagination. This is India's largest opposition party, but the manner in which they've tried to project this as internal democracy and what it has ended up being looked at as by the public and even by people within the Congress are two very, very different things. And I'm going to take you through precisely what kind of drama has taken place today. All of it first here on India Today. I'm Shiv Arur. This is 5 Live. These are the headlines. After filing nomination, Shashi Tharoor fires at Congress leadership over Kharge's candidature, calls Kharge a candidate of continuity, not of change. Congress Yatra enters first BJP-ruled state Karnataka. Rahul fires fresh salvo at the RSS, says the Sangh is spreading divisions in society. Prime Minister Modi's Day 2 of Gujarat outreach inaugurates mega infrastructure projects, flags off Gandhinagar to Mumbai, Vande Bharat Express and Ahmedabad Metro. Putin signs executive orders recognizing Kherson and Zaporizhia as now part of Russian territory. Ukraine President Zelensky calls Russia a terrorist state and a bloodthirsty scum. We've got live coverage starting at 5:30 p.m. right here on India Today. Hurricane Ian pounds Florida. Raging floodwaters wreak havoc. Rain, storm and blackouts across the southern U.S. state. Don't know if we should still be calling it a race, but the race for who will be the next Congress president has heated up. Is it a fixed match? Is it a script? Is it a tamasha? Well, only the Congress can really answer that. But the battle will now be prospectively between Gandhi loyalist 80-year-old Mallikarjun Kharge and Shashi Tharoor, who is much younger. Digvijaya Singh, considered to be one of the closest aides of the Gandhis, has pulled out of the race just days after confirming his candidature. Shashi Tharoor, one of the staunchest critics of the High Command in recent times, part of the G23, even though he's not an official candidate, has now filed his nomination for the Congress chief's post, and he is going the whole hog. He's got a campaign video, he's got his own manifesto, he's got all the bells and whistles ringing on social media. He's taking this election with total seriousness like candidate Tharoor. But is it really an election or is it a selection? K.N. Tripathi, a former Jharkhand MLA, has also plunked himself into this so-called race. Mallikarjun Kharge, meanwhile, is now a front runner from the Congress top job. Currently, he has the backing of the Gandhi family. This was inadvertently left out by senior leader Kumari Selja, who has gone on to delete her tweet calling Kharge a chosen person by the Gandhi family. Rajasthan Chief Minister Ashok Gehlot, remember, was the initial selectee, but he also backed out after that huge rebellion and drama. Digvijaya Singh, who threw his weight behind Kharge, has now gone conspicuously silent. So all those who are talking are no longer talking. Those who were supposed to file their nomination have backed out at the last minute. Nobody knows what's really happening. There's a lot of shadow play, palace intrigue in the Darbar of the Congress party. But as we had told you yesterday, here on India Today, it's going to be Mallikarjun Kharge versus Shashi Tharoor. Is it really an election though? Watch this report.
First came the Trump.
तो मैंने तय किया है, अब मैं इस माहौल के अंदर चुनाव नहीं लड़ूंगा, ये मेरा फैसला है.
And the Trump withdrew unceremoniously a week later. This 75-year-old upped the stakes next.
मैं आज अपना नामांकन फॉर्म लेने आया हूं और संभवतः कल भरूंगा, लेकिन अब उनका इरादा है फॉर्म भरने का, तो मैंने कहा कि ठीक है, मैं आपका प्रस्तावक बनूंगा.
But walked back blank a day later. And here comes the High Command's wild card, and among its oldest in the Congress fold, 80-year-old Mallikarjun Kharge. The leader of opposition in the Rajya Sabha, the party's Dalit face down south in Karnataka, a former union minister, and above all, a long-time loyalist of the Gandhi family.
कांग्रेस पार्टी के जो उसूल है, जो आइडियोलॉजी है, उस आइडियोलॉजी के साथ मैं बचपन से जुड़ा हूं। जब मैं 8th 9th में पढ़ता था, आज मुझे फिर कांग्रेस पार्टी के सभी नेताओं ने आशीर्वाद करके अपने गुड विशेस मेरे साथ रख के आज मुझे कांग्रेस प्रेसिडेंट के लिए ये नामांकित किया गया है। या मैं जो आज जो फॉर्म भर रहा हूं, तो बड़े उत्साह के साथ मेरे साथ सभी लोग जुड़े हैं।
Kharge filed his nomination for party presidency on Friday. This after other veterans, Ashok Gehlot and Digvijaya Singh bowed out.
The Congress is chaotic, and that chaos was reflected that Digvijaya Singh decides, plunges into the contest. Lots of people have come here from Madhya Pradesh hearing that Digvijaya is going to contest, and then the Congress leadership is able to convince or is able to build a consensus around Mr. Kharge and convince number of other leaders that look, Kharge is the best man for the job, someone who's a pure Congress loyalist. And Mr. Digvijaya Singh has no option then but to bow out, because look, at the end of the day, no one wants to defy the Congress High Command beyond a point. Ashok Gehlot attempted to do so, and you saw what happened in Rajasthan.
Drama in full swing at the Congress headquarters as the members of the G23 came in their hordes to support Kharge's candidacy. Not seen in the good books of the Gandhis, many of them signed off as proposers in his nomination document.
श्री मल्लिकार्जुन खड़गे बहुत ही कांग्रेस पार्टी के वरिष्ठ नेता हैं और मैं और श्री आनंद शर्मा जी दोनों उनका जो नामांकन है उसका समर्थन करने के लिए आए हैं।
Party MP Shashi Tharoor filed his nomination some hours before. He tweeted out this video showcasing his appeal at the local and at the global level.
ये 23 लोग मेरे ख्याल में कभी भी एक साथ इकट्ठे नहीं हुए हैं मेरी जानकारी में। अगर उनमें से कुछ लोग 4-5 लोग जो भी है खड़गे साहब को मदद करेंगे, मैं बिल्कुल रिस्पेक्ट करता हूं। ये तो अच्छी बात है खड़गे साहब के लिए।
Even as Tharoor projected his candidacy as a serious bid, voices within the Congress emerged that he better retreat from the race.
I think all of us should now rally around and unanimously elect him the next president. Now I would request Mr. Shashi Tharoor to withdraw.
That said, a former Jharkhand minister and Congress leader, K.N. Tripathi, also filed his papers. But for now, the spotlight remains on a career politician and a family favorite, not on the right side of age on the one hand, and a former career diplomat not really blessed by the family on the other. With Mosmi Singh, Bureau Report, India Today.
I want to go across to India Today. Amit Bharadwaj, who's live with us from the Congress headquarters. He's been right through, the day at the Congress office, through a day of incredible twists and turns, always reported first here on India Today. Amit, we had predicted that, it was going to be an unpredictable day as far as the Congress party is concerned. Does this settle things? It's going to be Tharoor versus Kharge, or is there still some room for, more twists and turns, Amit?
Well, Shiv, as you said, India Today had very much predicted that it's going to be a wild card entry in the last moment on the day of final day of nomination of the candidature for the Congress party's top post, and that happened. Two twists and turns today. Number one, Mr. Digvijaya Singh withdrawing his candidature, saying that I'm not going to file my nomination papers. And second, Mallikarjun Kharge the leader who's known for a brilliant track record as far as Karnataka politics is concerned. He has been face of the Congress party in Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, long experience of understanding the Congress ideology and Congress's organizational structure. And Mr. Digvijaya Singh, along with a battery of senior leaders backing Mr. Kharge. But the second part of your question, is the drama over? Are the turn and twist over? See, if we are talking about the battle between Mr. Shashi Tharoor and Mr. Mallikarjun Kharge, as Mr. Tharoor wants to put it out as a friendly battle to strengthen the Congress party, it appears so that Mr. Shashi Tharoor is not going to withdraw his candidature, because I asked him very specifically today multiple times through the day, and he kept on saying that I'm not going to withdraw, I'm a serious candidate. And giving the final response to our question, he said that many people in the Congress party want a consensus candidate, but I am not one of those. So clearly he's saying that he's not going to withdraw. He also said that a lot of young people have urged him to contest this election. They have put in effort and their energy into it, and that is why he will not withdraw. Back to you, Shiv.
Shashi Tharoor is 66 years old. Mallikarjun Kharge is 80 years old. Not exactly Yuva Netas, even though Shashi Tharoor is much younger than Mallikarjun Kharge. People are a little shocked about the choice of Mallikarjun Kharge, but the Congress has its own compulsions. Aishwarya is also with us. Aishwarya, Kumari Selja has deleted a tweet. She's deleted a tweet where she basically described Mallikarjun Kharge as the chosen one. She thanks the Gandhis for choosing Mallikarjun Kharge, and then on India Today she has said all the other nominees should be withdrawing their nominations. I mean, I don't know why she deleted the tweet, because that was probably the only honest thing that has come out of the Congress in the last 96 hours.
Well, definitely, Shiv. But we all understand what would have happened once she tweeted it. It was, in fact, Ashok Gehlot, when he stepped out of Mallikarjun Kharge's house, he said that all the senior leaders, when we all sat together, the one name we all came, the one name that came from our meeting was Mallikarjun Kharge. So we all, Shiv, can see exactly what's happening. However, all eyes will be on the 4th of October. That's the day when people can take back their names. We'll have to wait and watch, Shiv, whether we will see Shashi Tharoor taking his name back, or whether this will become a seemingly bipolar contest. Shiv.
It's going to be a bipolar contest. I'm wondering if it's actually even a bipolar contest, Aishwarya. You're being very optimistic by calling it bipolar. I think it's going to be totally unipolar. I don't know what's going to happen to poor Shashi Tharoor, because clearly a lot of money has gone into making manifesto, even with the wrong map. This lovely glitzy campaign videos, etc. It's nice to see Shashi Tharoor taking it seriously. He's putting his thumb into the fight, but that's what I'm saying. I'm wondering whether it is actually a fight. Let's just look at the candidates. Thanks very much, Aishwarya and Amit, for getting us those inputs from the Congress office. Let's just show you what 80-year-old Mallikarjun Kharge, he's an old war horse, Dalit leader from Karnataka. Karnataka is a poll-bound state. What are his basic strengths, and why has he been chosen? He's got a vast organizational and administrative experience. He's 80 years old. He's been in the game for a long time. No electoral base, however, outside the Gulbarga region. That's one of his weaknesses. It says strengths, but the graphic should say weaknesses on that red box. Mallikarjun Kharge's strengths: he's won elections 10 consecutive times. But his weaknesses: he's lost his Lok Sabha seat in that whole tsunami of 2019. One of his strengths: considered loyal to the Gandhi family. He's considered an ultra-loyalist. His children are named after the Gandhi siblings, Rahul, Priyank and Priyadarshini. That is after Indira Gandhi. But one of his weaknesses: he's not a charismatic leader. He can't whip up the masses. One of his strengths: he's a leading south face of the Congress party. Highly respected leader. Let's not take that away from him. But one of his weaknesses: age is not on his side. He's 80 years old. He's part of the old guard. So those are the strengths and weaknesses of Mallikarjun Kharge at this point of time. Now let's show you the strengths and weaknesses of Shashi Tharoor. Comparably younger, but also much more of a known face. His strengths: he's a 3-time sitting Lok Sabha MP. In Kerala, in many ways, he's gone against the tide of the Namo wave, as it were, to win elections. Weaknesses: He's from the G23, which is considered the rebel faction within the Congress party. He's got huge celebrity status. Everybody knows Shashi Tharoor. He's a big social media star. Weakness seen as possibly close, not seen as close to the Gandhis. One of his strengths, popular with the middle class. Weakness, not articulate in Hindi, but he's told India Today that he's definitely trying, and he's demonstrated that he's willing to put that work in. He's got global appeal. He used to work for the United Nations, so he's got that international appeal about him, but he's controversial. He finds himself on the wrong end of headlines quite often. So those are a couple of quick report cards of both Mallikarjun Kharge and Shashi Tharoor, who are now confirmed to be the two people who will be part of this so-called race to be a non-Gandhi president of the Congress party. Now, while the wildcard entry of Mallikarjun Kharge in the Congress party wasn't the only big surprise today, the other big talking point was the presence of Congress rebel leaders as Kharge filed his nomination. The G23 has become the G Huzur 23. Remember the G23 group that had been very vocal in its criticism of the status quo within the party and had been demanding a leadership change to revive the Congress's electoral fortunes? Each and every one of them, I mean, in the most pathetic show of bending, have all become proposers for Mallikarjun Kharge. All of these dissenters lined up to back the unofficial pick of the Gandhis. The person who even Kumari Selja has acknowledged as being the chosen one of the Gandhis, they've all lined up to become his proposers. Mallikarjun Kharge, in fact, the G23 leaders like Manish Tiwari, Prithviraj Sawan, Salman Khurshid were all writing their names on that proposal nomination papers for Mallikarjun Kharge. The more things change in the Congress, the more they remain the same. The G23 was always a joke in my personal opinion. They've become even more of a joke and exposed themselves in full public view in front of their electorates, in front of Congress supporters, in front of Karyakartas, in front of everyone today. Basically, the High Command has taught the G23 a lesson and truly shown them what their औकात really is.
सर, क्या आपको लगता है जो चुनाव की ये प्रक्रिया है, इससे एक अच्छा मैसेज
में कांग्रेस पार्टी में चुनाव होता है संविधान के अनुसार, और भी जो है इसके बाद भी जो आवश्यक है, मुझे ऐसा विश्वास है कि वो भी होगा। कांग्रेस कार्यकारिणी के भी चुनाव होंगे और एक समावेशी सामूहिक नेतृत्व कांग्रेस को आगे लेकर चलेगा।
शशि थरूर कैंडिडेट को कैसे?
मेरी शुभकामनाएं
दी, पर समर्थन नहीं दिया आप लोगों ने।
अब वो तो अपने अपने सोच और निर्णय है।
आपका ग्रुप का हिस्सा थे
वो तो बहुत थे, वो तो इलेक्शन अथॉरिटी में भी बैठे हैं, वो तो मुकुल वासनिक भी थे, कई प्रस्तावक उसी का हिस्सा थे। कोई एक पार्टी में गुट नहीं था। हमने सुधार की बात की थी, सुझाव दिए थे, वो गुट नहीं था।
संदेश देने की कोशिश है कि चुनाव हो रहा है, ये हमारा संदेश है, और कहीं चुनाव नहीं होता।
मैच फिक्स तो नहीं है सलमान साहब, मैच फिक्स।
पहले रिजल्ट तो देख लीजिए, रिजल्ट देख लीजिए, फिर मुझसे ये सवाल पूछिएगा। अभी हम क्या जाने क्या होगा, रिजल्ट आने दीजिए। खुलकर चुनाव हो रहा है, सबको इजाजत है, हम भी खड़े हो सकते थे, कोई और खड़ा हो सकता है, सब लोगों के सामने है और लोग वोट डालेंगे और अपना निर्णय सामने आ जाएगा।
राहुल गांधी रेस से हट गए, पहली बार हो रहा है कि 24 साल में एक गैर गांधी अध्यक्ष बने।
देखिए, इससे कोई समस्या नहीं है। हम बड़ा स्पष्ट पहले से कह चुके हैं, मैं स्वयं कह चुका हूं कि प्रेसिडेंट और लीडर एक ही नहीं होता है। प्रेसिडेंट भी लीडर होता है, लेकिन एक उसके साथ साथ एक प्रमुख लीडर होता है। प्रमुख लीडर अगर ये जिम्मेदारी नहीं समझता है कि वो ले किसी और को दे, तो उसमें कोई हर्ज नहीं है।
Is Mr. Kharge the unofficial official candidate of the Congress leadership?
Mr. Kharge is the senior most leader in the party. He was a leader of opposition in Rajya Sabha, and I think all of us should now rally around and unanimously elect him the next president.
But an 80-year-old, is this the time to have an 80-year-old? The Congress surely needed someone younger. Your name was doing the round.
No, thank you very much. The media was doing a lot, was being very kind. But the point is that his experience will surely help the party. You know, there is time when experience is also required. and the way he is conducting, he has whole lifetime of commitment to the party, and I think we will benefit.
Ma'am, but till a few days ago it was Ashok Gehlot, then Digvijaya Singh, now Mallikarjun Kharge. What is going on? ये हो क्या रहा है कांग्रेस में?
No, Digvijay ji himself has said he did take the form. He was saying he was going to, and now I think he himself has withdrawn, and it would be in the fitness of things if Kharge ji is elected unanimously.
शशि थरूर कल भी हमारे मित्र थे, आज भी मित्र हैं, कल भी रहेंगे। पर जहां तक कांग्रेस पार्टी का सवाल है, आप देखेंगे कि जिन सब लोगों ने अपना पूरा जीवन कांग्रेस पार्टी में व्यतीत किया है, वो सारे आज यहाँ पे हैं। दिग्विजय सिंह जी बहुत सत्कारयोग लीडर हैं और दिग्विजय सिंह जी ने बहुत ही ग्रेस दिखाते हुए अपना नामांकन वापस लिया है। तो अगर आम सहमति बन जाए तो अच्छा होगा।
Now, the outsider in this race to be a non-Gandhi president of the Congress party is Shashi Tharoor. It's now between the loyalist of the Gandhi family, Mallikarjun Kharge, 80 years old, and the dissenter, Shashi Tharoor, because he was part of the G23. Shashi Tharoor, the celebrity MP from Thiruvananthapuram, Kerala, strong critic of the high command culture in general, in the recent past especially, has filed his nomination to be the Congress president. And he's taking it with unusual seriousness. He's got campaign videos out, he's got a campaign plan out, he's got a campaign manifesto out. Is there something that he knows that we don't know, or is this all just a part of the act? Take a look at Shashi Tharoor's story.
A contender for the top Congress post.
एक और बात धन्यवाद कहना चाहता हूं कांग्रेस अध्यक्ष सोनिया गांधी जी से। वो लोग कहें कि चुनाव पार्टी के लिए अच्छा है, कि पार्टी को मजबूत करेंगे, क्योंकि लोग हमारे जैसे आप कर रहे हैं, आप ध्यान देंगे हमारे पार्टी को, और मेरे ख्याल में इस ध्यान से कांग्रेस का संदेश और लोगों के मन में और हृदय में पहुंचेगा।
An outspoken member of the G23 group, vocal against the Gandhis' model of centralized decision-making in the party. Tharoor is now being seen as a lone man standing, despite claiming the Gandhis have vowed neutrality in the race.
I was not prepared for the extraordinarily enthusiastic collection of Congress workers who accompanied me to outside and inside AICC headquarters, and I thank them all through you for their great enthusiasm and show of support.
The stage is set for a fresh showdown as senior members of the grand old party cling on to the status quo.
ये 23 लोग मेरे ख्याल में कभी भी एक साथ इकट्ठे नहीं हुए हैं मेरी जानकारी में। अगर उनमें से कुछ लोग 4-5 लोग जो भी है खरगे साहब को मदद करेंगे, मैं बिल्कुल रिस्पेक्ट करता हूं। ये तो अच्छी बात है खरगे साहब के लिए।
With his G23 colleagues also throwing their weight behind the Gandhi loyalist Mallikarjun Kharge, Tharoor seems to have launched himself into mission impossible. He called Kharge the Bhishma Pitama of the Congress, but insisted he will not back down.
He's been a terrific leader for many, many years. I think he's one of the great giants, the Bhishma Pitama of our party in some ways. He's the leader of the opposition in the Rajya Sabha. Let's respect Mr. Kharge.
A section within the Congress now wants Tharoor to pull out of the race.
Mr. Kharge is the senior most leader in the party. He was a leader of opposition in Rajya Sabha, and I think all of us should now rally around and unanimously elect him the next president.
With the scales clearly tipping in Kharge's favor, one could say Tharoor is already out of the race. His fight seems more symbolic now. Bureau Report, India Today.
And very unfortunately for Shashi Tharoor, on a day when he filed his nomination, threw his hat into the ring of an election that most people think isn't an election at all, another controversy for poor Mr. Tharoor. Dr. Tharoor, I beg your pardon. He had a wrong map on his campaign manifesto. How much more unfortunate can it get than that? It isn't the first time that Shashi Tharoor has brandished a map that was incorrect. He did it in 2019 once. Knowing Dr. Shashi Tharoor, I know this was most certainly not deliberate. He is a patriot himself for sure. This must have been an error by his team, but this is the politics of perception, and image is everything, and he's come under attack as well. A corrected map has now been released by Dr. Tharoor's office to rectify this embarrassing blunder in the Jammu and Kashmir map in his campaign manifesto. But now Andaman, Nicobar and Lakshadweep are missing from the India map. Incredible. I mean, it's one mistake after another. Poor Dr. Tharoor. The new map, which was supposed to correct the original error, is now missing Andaman, Nicobar and Lakshadweep. So India's island territories have simply been wiped out. It's a comedy of errors. I mean, this is something that Dr. Tharoor shouldn't have to be bogged down by at this point of time, but sadly, that's the era of social media, and all little errors of this kind are going to be amplified in a big way. And not to say that these aren't big errors, these are. Care must be taken for things like this, especially for someone like Dr. Tharoor, who's very popular on social media. The first picture he tweeted out with his election manifesto had India's head chopped off. There was no Jammu and Kashmir. And now, with a corrected map, including J&K, there's no Lakshadweep and Andaman and Nicobar. What an absolute series of blunders. Amit Bharadwaj, my colleague, is still with me. I want to quickly get in. Amit, this is like a comedy of errors. I'm feeling a little bad for Dr. Tharoor because this was his day in the spotlight in a very big way, nominating himself, campaign manifesto, etc. And getting those maps wrong has got to be really embarrassing. I'm sure he's really annoyed about this.
Well, absolutely right, Shiv. It was his day in the sense that he at least decided that he is not going to surrender in front of someone like as tall as Mr. Mallikarjun Kharge, and is still going to have a friendly battle with him. But moments after the release of the manifesto, India Today broke the story that there's a blunder, major goof up, massive goof up in that particular map that has been released, which is part of the Mr. Tharoor's manifesto. And in fact, Dr. Tharoor was holding that particular map in his hand while he was talking about emphasizing there is a need to decentralize power in the Congress party, as to how right now the entire power is actually centralized in the national capital with the AICC headquarters.
Right.
But even a district president is appointed by the AICC headquarters, not by the PCCs. Well, he was making out that point, but even then he could not notice that there was a blunder in that map. And there's another map which has been rectified, issued by Shashi Tharoor's office. And this time around, Shiv, Andaman and Nicobar and Lakshadweep Islands are actually missing. So clearly, one mistake by another on this very day when he has filed his nomination. And certainly annoyed right now. He could be, what we are expecting is that whether his office is going to release a statement, detailed statement on this blunder or not. We know for a matter of fact that it won't be Mr. Tharoor who would have put that map on the manifesto. But definitely the onus, the bug will stop.
No, it's going to have a great deal of nuisance value for him on a day when he needs to be really focused because of all the shape-shifting politics that's erupting around him. He's taken a pot shot at the High Command also, calling Mallikarjun Kharge a symbol of continuity instead of the change that he, Tharoor, represents. So all of these things are going to have nuisance value for Tharoor, and I'm sure he's pretty annoyed about it, but he will have to issue a statement. That's the price you pay for having the glare of the media, especially social media, on you 24 hours a day. Amit, thank you very much for that. Now, I've got to be really honest, viewer. We are idiots, and I talk about myself especially, if we think that the events of the last 3 days don't make it totally clear that there is no presidential election in the Congress party. One must admire the straight face with which the Congress party praises itself for this amazing free and fair process of choosing its next party president. This silly mukhota of democracy has started slipping. It did in Jaipur, when it was blankly assumed that Ashok Gehlot would be the party president. The rebellion caught the Congress so badly off guard that they forgot that they were supposed to say that Gehlot will contest the election, not that he was being moved Bori Bistar to Delhi. And things have just unraveled from there like a silly soap opera. Now it's a sensational free-for-all with the Gandhis lurching from one nominee to the next, while Shashi Tharoor brilliantly acts oblivious to this Game of Thrones exploding around him and continues to treat this like an actual election. While the BJP sits on the sidelines and sniggers at this tamasha, the Congress has predictably fallen into that trap, ending up sounding defensive and petulant. The Congress has launched a laughable counter-attack saying JP Nadda is not elected, he is selected. But then nobody is telling the Congress that the BJP hasn't been shouting from the rooftops for the last decade, boasting about any internal party democracy. They don't claim it really. They've been too busy perfecting a command structure that wins them elections and keeps the party in battle-ready mode 24/7, 365 days a year, like it or not. Whatever be a political party's obligations on internal elections, including commitments in internal constitutions, etc., which is very noble, I think the Congress is wasting its time trying to overprove a point that hardly matters to voters. Voters want clarity of purpose, leadership and vision. I very much doubt voters are sitting around and wondering, "Arey, is party mein internal democracy nahi hai, main isko vote nahi dunga." Don't get me wrong. Parties must be the ones creating this chaotic, vibrant democracy that we love so much in this country. But in my personal view, and I will be attacked for it, I know, a party itself needs to be like an army. There's no democracy in the army, but it functions on a system of merit and progression and selects the best for the top positions. You can waste your time talking about authoritarian internal structures of the BJP or the power of the few, which may be true, but when those structures work to convey a vision, mobilize well and win elections, nobody has the time to wistfully long for some theoretical internal democracy in the party. Internal democracy sounds wonderful, and in Rahul Gandhi's defense, he has spoken about this for years together, long before this current tamasha in his party. But as a party with a still large electorate, is this shaky idea of internal elections really what they'd rather invest all their energy in? And after the events of the last few days, does anyone believe it's an election and not a selection? Look at how this silly musical chairs has diverted media attention away from the Bharat Jodo Yatra, which I personally think is a solid, meaningful campaign. The Congress has acquired a tough exterior, recasting itself as a party that won't play on the back foot anymore, which is a good thing. And which is why I'm saying stop this charade of internal democracy. There's no need to be defensive about not having it. No political party in India does. Let me repeat that. No political party has real internal democracy.